given me. I pleaded, and the spirit of wisdom came to me. I preferred her to scepter and throne, and deemed riches nothing in comparison with her. Nor did I liken any priceless gem to her, because all gold in view of her is a little sand, and before her silver is to be accounted mire. Beyond health and comeliness I loved her, and I chose to have her rather than the light, because the splendor of her never yields to sleep. Now God grant I speak suitably and value these endowments at their worth, for he is the guide of wisdom and the director of the wise. For both we and our words are in his hand, as well as all prudence and knowledge of crafts. The word of the Lord.
Thanks be to God.
Responsorial Psalm. Lord, teach me your statutes.
Lord, teach me your statutes.
How shall a young man be faultless in his way? By keeping to your words.
Lord, teach me your statutes.
With all my heart I seek you. Let me not stray from your commands.
Lord, teach me your statutes.
Within my heart I treasure your promise, that I may not sin against you.
Lord, teach me your statutes.
Blessed are you, O Lord. Teach me your statutes.
Lord, teach me your statutes.
With my lips I declare all the ordinances of your mouth.
Lord, teach me your statutes.
In the way of your decrees I rejoice as much as in all riches.
Lord, teach me your statutes. The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to St. Matthew. Jesus spoke to the crowds and to his disciples. Do not be called Rabbi. You have but one teacher, and you are all brothers. Call no one on earth your father, for you have but one Father in heaven. Do not be called Master, for you have but one Master, the Christ. The greatest among you must be your servant. Whoever exalts himself will be humbled, but whoever humbles himself will be exalted. The Gospel of the Lord. One day when I actually get round to being allowed to being given a sabbatical, I got all these fantasies of things that I might like to do, and some of them are more recent than others, but one of the ones that was one of the oldest of my academic fantasies was just to spend a year reading the entirety in the original Latin of Aquinas' Summa Theologica. It's about 55 volumes in a special edition that comes out of Blackfriars in Oxford. Fantastic for the notes and the translation and everything else. I wanted to spend some time doing it because it's such a wonderful construct that Aquinas did in that whole thing. Bertrand Russell didn't think much of Aquinas as a philosopher, but Russell was an atheist and he had his own axe to grind, so that's another story. Aquinas put together an absolutely incredible construct of intellectual appreciation of the faith and description of the faith using what was at that time not only the hot academic item, but in point of fact, a condemned academic item, the philosophy of Aristotle. Didn't stop Aquinas though, okay? And even though there were doubts about his orthodoxy raised conveniently after he died, nevertheless, he is noted now as the official philosopher and theologian of the church. The best of them, you know, even though he would have called the best of them Augustine. So, we have him here making this incredible, beautiful, coherent construct. And toward the end of his life, he says that he had a vision of God that was so intense that people asked him afterward, and he said, all this that I've written, it's straw. It's just straw. It doesn't touch the reality at all. And so some of the Latin in the hymn that we're singing, the Pange Lingua, talks about it in that kind of way. And it says that, you know, faith is what we need to supplement ourselves when our senses are inadequate. And that was his understanding. That was his understanding of faith. What is he really saying? Well, what he's really saying is, in part, what the author of the Book of Wisdom told us today. In the face of wisdom, all gold in view of her is but a little sand. Silver accounted mire, just garbage, you know? Or in the words of St. Paul, eye has not seen, ear has not heard, it has not even dawned in the human heart what God has prepared for those who love him. That's the thing, that everything that we can say and do and see here, good as it is, as much sense as it makes, can't come close to the reality of God as God. And that was what Aquinas realized. So we celebrate him today both for the faith and theology that put a beautiful organization together on the one hand, but the reality that God is God after all. And we cannot comprehend God in the fullest sense. If we did, God is no longer God. God becomes an idol, okay? And Aquinas teaches us all that. So we can celebrate that today. As we celebrate the mystery of putting ourselves into the hands of our Maker sacramentally today, as we now call Tom up to celebrate the sacrament of anointing, and I invite everyone to join with us to come forward and lay hands on him with me.